Hi, I bought new games. Figured I'd do one of my pickups videos. With Randy here. I have to keep Randy in my lap because if I let him go, he's gonna go back in there where's my wardrobe or closet and he's gonna drop shit. I mean, there's a hell of a lot other stuff too than clothes, like tools and shit. And so he's a little menace. He wants attention. Ugh. Anyway, it feels like it's been forever since I did my last gaming pickups video. So, about damn time, and I've kind of been slow this year on this channel, or at least the last couple of months. I had a vacation there, and I just kind of played games, and well, I drank beer. Maybe a bit too much, so that might explain why things have been kind of slow. So, But I'm trying to pick up things. I've been kind of thinking how I could maybe shorten these videos. I know some of you like the longer videos, but still, it seems like it takes ages for me to edit these and shoot these. So, there might be some small remodeling in the future. Who knows? I don't know. No idea. Basically, all it takes is for me to shut up more. I'm gonna start now. Shut upping part. And starting to show those games. So, hey, you gonna behave? So I got 6 new games and 3 of PlayStation 5, 1 is for Nintendo Switch, and I also have 2 Evercade cards. Cause, like I mentioned in my last gaming pickups, I'm kinda trying to collect those more too in the future, buy every now and then, 1 or 2. First game's gonna be quick, cause I already reviewed this and I unboxed this. It is the Precinct. So, you want to hear more about this, go check out the review. The review, that got long. That's one of my problems. It was almost 30 minutes. I mean, Jesus Christ. I gotta learn how to pack these things more tightly, not go all day long. But yeah, Precinct. All I'm gonna say here is that I really enjoyed this game. It's like old school GTA, but you're a cop. Somewhere in between GTA 1 and GTA 3. Someone actually commented, why did I forget there was GTA 2? I didn't forget that, but that's kind of like GTA 1, so, the style kind of changed. Well, yeah, I guess it would make more sense to say between GTA 2 and GTA 3, but GTA 2 was kind of, it had a bit like a near futuristic feel to it. There were those weird gangs and all that, so I don't know, I liked it, but not as much as the first one or third one. So yeah, that's I don't know. But Precinct, I'm just gonna move on. Go check out the review if you wanna hear more about it. Next game I bought is for Nintendo Switch, and it is actually a JRPG, and I beat this. One of the reasons why I haven't really done so many videos, I've played longer games now, and I've beaten those. I don't know, I've gotten into some kind of new groove where I just actually pick up longer games and play those through. I played quite a few longer games this year, which is amazing for me. Usually I go for I do have some shorter there too, but yeah. You get the idea. I'm playing more these days. Oh, so I'm watching like a ton of movies. So many movies I bought. Anyway, the game I got is Star Ocean, the second story R. And this is a remake from PlayStation 1 Star Ocean. I'm pretty sure it was a PlayStation 1 Star Ocean. And yeah, I gotta say, loved this. I beat this. This was great. It took 40-50 hours, somewhere around there, for me to beat this. Although I did grind a lot of levels, so that took time. Now, I've always been a huge fan of Star Ocean games. I played one for PSP. I can't remember. I think PSP had 2 Star Ocean games. Can't remember which one I played. Also, I played the PlayStation 3 Star Ocean game. I didn't beat that. I did enjoy that, but for some weird reason, I don't know, I just moved on and never beat that. But this one, I gotta say, as much as I like this, I was a bit disappointed that this one didn't have as much hopping between planets like those other ones I played. This one just kind of takes mostly place on one planet. You got 2 main heroes. You can pick one, there's a boy and a girl. I picked the boy because I can relate more closely to Wiener and Meatballs. Story was pretty simple, it didn't really blow me away, but I enjoyed it for what it was. This is an old school JRPG, so you know how the story's gonna go. You gotta save the planet, or universe in this case, because it's Star Ocean, so there's some big bad but actually it does take a lot of time until it gets to that level. The story started with the male character being on some kind of expedition, and he has a father there who's kind of strict. I can't really remember that great, but anyway, they come across this some kind of Stargate or something, and the boy goes through and disappears, and well, ends up in a whole different planet, and yeah, you gotta just try to find your way back to wherever it is you came from. Earth, I guess. Anyway, you run into all kinds of characters, and you can actually play this multiple times through, because there's tons of characters you can meet here, and you don't get to have all those in your party on the same playthrough, so you're gonna miss some characters, so keep that in mind. You can actually play this through multiple times. If I remember correctly, this one actually has 99 different endings. But I do think it works like this. You have all those multiple characters. Every character seems to have their own little ending at the end. And I'm not saying there's 99 different characters, but I think they kind of count who you have in your party. You know, if you have like these 6 guys, they have their own ending. I mean, every character has their own ending there. But if you have like these 5 guys, but this one guy is a different guy than last time, then you have one different ending there. I call a bit of a exaggerated bullshit on that 99 ending thing. I mean, it's probably 99 different things, but they're very simple kind of cinematic. So yeah, but still, if you're a completionist, that's a lot of shit to collect. Anyway, still love this game. It's not one of those turn-based JRPGs you're kind of whacking away. It's kind of hack and slashy, but there is this kind of sense of bit of turn-basiness, because you have to load up your, you can't just throw around items or spells. You gotta wait for them to load up. So yeah, it's more action-oriented JRPG style. Really good. Really dug this. Then the next game I got, I just accidentally kind of ran into this. I didn't even know they were bringing out sequel to one of the games I really loved 4 or 5 years ago. I can't really remember when it came out, but I actually reviewed it on this channel. And that game was Journey to the Savage Planet. So yeah, they just popped out a sequel. Revenge of the Savage Planet. I was actually a huge fan of the Journey to the Savage Planet. I really liked the humor. It was so kind of kooky and weird and gross at times. Here, kind of same thing. They switched it though, not the humor. Well, maybe a little bit, but still, it's just as goddamn weird and relies a lot on farts. you can feed shit to cute little animals, make them fart, so you can get carbon. But yeah, the first game was actually first-person shooter. Well, it was more like adventure, platforming game from a first-person perspective, but there was shooting also. This one is third-person, so I'm not sure how I feel about that. Also, the first one you had only 1 planet. This one adds, so there's 5 planets. 5 planets? I think there was 5 planets. There was one that I actually didn't unlock, because that's apparently some kind of bonus planet you can do if you want, but once I hit the end credits, I switched games, because like I said, I've been playing so many long games. Once the end credits hit, I'm moving on. I ain't got all the time in the world. But yeah, it's still this one you can play co-op, so if you have friends, you can play it like that. I don't have friends, so I didn't play it like that. Again, a lot of platforming and wacky, all kinds of gadgets and items and weapons and enemies and all kinds of shit, and I like how you have base and you have TV on your base, and it shows you these commercials just like in the first one. You were on your spaceship and there was a TV screen and it showed you commercials, and those commercials are, man, I love those. Those are like really fucking weird and usually on the border if they're disgusting or well, a lot of times they are kind of disgusting, they were advertising all kinds of shit.
This is really moist. Oh yeah.
I want my burger squirts.
Those commercials were actually one of my favorite things in this game. Anyway, I'd say really fun third-person, wacky, humorous shooter slash platformer, because there's a lot of climbing and yeah, you get that whip thing. He's whipping there on the cover. You can grab stuff and get to higher ledges and all that kind of stuff. You can do double jumps and all that. So yeah, this one reminds me more like a Jak and Daxter if Jak and Daxter was made on crack and didn't maybe have as clear plans on what's it gonna be in the end. This is like that. Yeah, it's just, I do hope more people find this and give this a try, because I would really take a sequel of this. Oh, also, there's stuff in here. Well, yeah, there's a digital art book and digital soundtrack and exclusive downloadable shit, but there's also this Scratch and Sniff art card. I haven't even tried this. Scratch and Sniff. I don't think those really were a thing here in Finland as much as they were like in US or something. I mean, we had something, but I think US always had more scratch and sniff stuff, so you get us beat there. You people really like scratching and sniffing stuff. I do too, but here we have to just scratch our butt or balls and sniff that. Anyway, scratch and sniff. Ooh, it kind of smells like a bubble gum. Yeah. Smells like bubblegum. Huh. I'm actually kind of disappointed. You know, judging by the game and all the themes and the humor in the game, I was expecting something like diarrhea shit or some, smell like that. Dog poop. Rotten kidneys of a raccoon. More pleasant than I expected, but I really wasn't expecting anything pleasant. I'm happy and disappointed at the same time. Huh. Anyway, really fun game. I do dig this. Okay, next game I bought. There's gonna be a bit of ranting incoming. I thought about leaving this last, but yeah, I'm gonna leave the Evercade cartridges last, because maybe a lot of people don't like those, so they can end the video and get the fuck out of here, after this. But yeah, I'm gonna do this next, and this game, everyone was recommending this. Like it's the greatest things in sliced bread. I don't know why people say things are greatest things since sliced bread. Sliced bread, you don't have knives, you can slice them yourself. That's really not that great. I mean, like, condoms are greater thing than sliced bread. Probably should have said like penicillin or something, or antibiotics, but I don't know why condoms came into my mind. But condoms are pretty great too. You don't want any of those things that burn when you pee or possibly kill you or get anyone pregnant, unless you really want to, unless that's your plan, but no unplanned pregnancies. Although I do think governments around the world would actually prefer those these days. Fight the government, wear a condom. Make kids if you want to make. Anyway, back to this game. So yeah, everyone was, jizzing over this game. Like, it's the hottest shit out there. This is so great. It's so great. This one really shows the AAA market that they can take their shit and shove it up their faces. Stupid, fat, fucking, huge corporate AAA faces. The game I'm talking about is Clair Obscur Expedition 33, and I gotta agree with all those people. This game really showed big corporations that they can suck it. Small group, 30 people, obviously they outsource some stuff. So yeah, because some pissy gaming media site was like, you didn't give all the credit to all the people who worked in this. The core group is like 30 people. JRPG, except it's not Japanese, it's French. FRPG? French role-playing game. But really, like, this one really takes a lot of inspiration from, I'd say, like Final Fantasy X and a lot of other old school JRPGs also. I really dug this. The combat is turn-based, except you kind of gotta be awake there, because you can also, whenever the enemies are attacking you or you're attacking enemies, there might be some moments where you have to do some quick time events. Mostly like press X so your hits make more damage, or press certain buttons if you want to dodge enemies attack or parry. And also there's two others. There's like this jump dodge, and then there's this more powerful parry which only work on certain moves. So yeah, it keeps you awake, the combat, because you kind of gotta be awake. And well, by nature I actually kind of fucking hate quick time events, but in this game I was cool. JRPG style, it can get kind of static, where you're on autopilot just collecting levels. So in that sense, it kept me more engaged. I do like that, but also at the same time, sometimes I like JRPGs, like Star Ocean there, because I could just kind of go through enemies and wail on them. I mean, once you have enough level, you can do that here too, but you're not gonna get much level. In Star Ocean it worked better in that sense that you can just go and mow powerful enemies and keep getting level and experience points and all that. It just kind of you can zone off and do that. In this one you kind of gotta be awake, so god damn it, make me work my brain. And my reflexes. That's just evil, man. When I play games I want to zone out. I want to just drool and look at TV and not be in any kind of like I've just received shock therapy. No, but it was great. It was kind of unique. I did really dig the combat system in this. But the combat, you can, JRPG combat, you can take it or leave it, That's not actually what drew me in this game that much. The main reason is the story and the music. The complete atmosphere. It basically starts in a city where everyone dies at certain age. And, year before your age hits and you need to die, they send some people out on a journey to find out why the fuck we're all dying. Well, actually the reason is there's a paintress who is like this god of this world who decides who lives and who dies. So you're off to an adventure to kill the paintress. It's really unique. I love how the world looks like it's from some kind of weird fucking French twisted parallel universe. I mean, you have the Eiffel Tower that's all twisted there and enemies who are mimes and, you can get all kinds of different outfits for your characters. They got those old ass French swimsuits you can get, which are big. No hot bikinis in this one, which... But I'll take it. Also, you got those striped shirts you can put on them and little baguettes in the back. And at least one costume had a baguette, But anyway, the point I'm making here, this couldn't be more French, this game, unless they fought all those turn-based combats by throwing croissants at each other. I mean, this game's so French when the monsters fart, it doesn't even make poof, it just yells, Vive la France! And instead of game over screen, it just says, we surrender. I think the French are bored with that kind of jokes already. I don't know where that actually comes from. Sure, maybe they surrendered a couple of times during the history, but they fought hell of a lot more. And there were a bunch who came up with guillotine. I don't think they're all about surrendering. I'm giving you compliments, you stupid wine-munching, snail-eating French. I don't want to get too friendly. We gotta keep some hostility here, okay? That keeps things interesting. Anyway, the game. Back to the game. This game, everyone, has come out and said this is the game of the year and all that. And I'm not sure if I'm ready to give this that much praise at this point yet. Really great. This is definitely one of those games that's gonna be fighting in my game of the year list from the top spots. But if I do have to say something negative about this, there's some platforming. The platforming is not really that great, but then again, there's not like that much that it really bothered me. But there were a few places where, it kind of did piss me off. There's a couple of places where you can actually climb up really high, so you might fall. And the controls when you're not in combat, they are what they are. They're kind of basic movement, but that's not the whole point of this game. It's more about the combat and all that, and having that weird wacky world. I don't want to say too much about the story and all that. I'll just say it's really dark. It's really dark. Everyone's always like, in every cutscene, they look like their faces are just totally fucked. I mean, they're just full of blood. Not like there's cuts or bruises or anything, but they're just all covered in blood. Like, they've gone through hell, and this game, it really feels like that. This is one of the best, most interesting stories I've had in gaming in a long while. It's so goddamn good. Now, everyone keeps praising this game a lot, so I'm just gonna leave it there. I'll say I fully, if you like old school JRPGs, go for this. No, the biggest reason why I really wanted to get this is that this game is a fantastic example of what smaller group can actually make. Considering last year, 2 years, AAA games have been bombing. They've been shit. They've been unimaginable crap. Just lame. Lame is probably the best word to describe AAA games lately. It's been so dead. It's big corporations. They just, because you have to answer to investors, and there's usually just let's take Ubisoft. Ubisoft had I don't know if they still have the year they've had. They probably had to downsize some, but at least at one point they had over 20,000 workers there. What did they put out? Assassin's Creed after Assassin's Creed after Assassin's Creed after Far Cry after Far Cry after Far Cry after Watch Dogs after Watch Dogs after Watch Dogs. Well, there was only 3 Watch Dogs, so no more Watch Dogs. And they all kind of felt that copy-paste, and when it came to the story and all the writing, it was better at first, like early Assassin's Creed games, they had some balls in it, but yeah, it just kind of slowly went into the slump of just lameness. There's no edge, there's nothing. The characters, I couldn't tell you any characters from probably the last 5 Assassin's Creed or Far Cry games. I can't tell you any characters from Watch Dogs games. They're so boring, so mind-numbing. This guy, who actually, or the guys who made this game, the main guy at least, he left from Ubisoft because he said he was fucking bored out of his mind in there. And that's the problem. Ubisoft, it's a big place. Problem is they have to answer to, small crew who give them money and make all the decisions, which sucks. There's over 20,000 developers in that company. A lot of them are just stuck modeling some furniture or something like that. There's probably so much potential in that huge ass group of developers. And this is a great example of that are just being held hostage because, they're not gonna get their voices heard ever at any point. They're just there to collect paycheck and do the mind-numbing shit that they have to do. Mostly Control-C and Control-V and bam, you got a new game. Now look, yeah, I'm simplifying it a lot, but it's just EA, Activision, same fucking thing. They got people there who are probably talented as fuck, who might actually have some really great ideas and passion to do what they really want to do, but it's a huge risk to actually leave a place where they give you a steady paycheck and start doing your own. But this game really showed that sometimes it's worth it. You just gotta take the plunge, you gotta take the risk, leave, go create your own vision, go develop your own vision, and sometimes you'll create something magnificent like Expedition 33. I'm not saying this is the hottest shit ever, but I'm saying this is really goddamn good, and considering last couple of years, it elevates this even further. I say this because there's not much competition in quality department these days in bigger games. This is AA game, apparently, or does it count as indie game because it's only like 30 guys, but they did outsource. I'm gonna call it AA game. It looks like AA game, so yeah, I'm gonna call it AA game. Whatever. Best stuff comes from smaller companies who are willing to take the risk. Take the plunge, go out on their own and create their visions. You're not gonna be chained like in huge companies. This should be a wake-up call to huge companies. Stop doing live service crap. Sony, I'm looking at you. And now Microsoft coming out and slashing all their game developers. Almost all. I mean, they just cancelled a buttload of games, and there were a couple of interesting ones. I still probably wouldn't hook my Xbox, but these days they also come to PlayStation 5, so I might have. Well, actually, no. Microsoft always releases games, and they're not even on the disc, even though they're in physical form. They come with disc, but those bastards just hate everything physical. Truer nerds were never met. I'm pretty sure they have sex like in Demolition Man, where they have those helmets and you close your eyes and then it just gets kind of flashy and all that, but they don't touch. It's not only is this great game, but this is a great example of what you can achieve if you're willing to take risks. This rant probably got long. I warned you. Okay, so I bought 2 Evercade cartridges again, and if you remember my last gaming pickups, I also bought 2. One was Bitmap Brothers 2, and the other one was, I can't remember, but I think it was Kremlin. It had Cool Spot. Well, anyway, both of those cartridges, they weren't really that great. Those were both disappointments. Bitmap Brothers 2, and I think it was Kremlin cartridge where there was Cool Spot. Kremlin Collection 1 or something like that. Wasn't really a big fan of either card. But this time, these cards more than make up for it. Team 17 Collection 1 and Sunsoft Collection 1. Now Team 17, best known for Worms games, they did actually do some other games too. What the hell, let's go with this first. This one has 10 Team 17 Amiga classics on this cartridge, so Yeah, Amiga games. This is one of those home computer classics cartridges, which are blue, as you can see. Games they have here: Full Contact, Alien Breed Special Edition, Body Blows, Project X Special Edition, Quack, Arcade Pool, Alien Breed Tower Assault, Alien Breed 2, The Horror Continues, ATR All-Terrain Racing, and Kingpin Arcade Sports Series Bowling. Now, Arcade Pool and Kingpin sports games, I always kind of like those old school, pool games and bowling games. They're fun for, 1 or 2 tries every now and then, so nothing special there. Quack, I didn't actually even try. I'm looking at back here, and goddammit, it actually looks kind of fun. Platformer. There's a little picture there, although I'll probably have some kind of footage here from this collection. So anyway, Full Contact. That was a fighting game. That was shit. That was like really shitty shit. Not good. It's 101 fighting game. You have one button that attacks, and also you have your D-pad, which depends which way you're pressing, the attack is gonna be different. And also you can jump and shoot with the D-pad. Yeah, it's just none of the hits had any kind of a weight. It's just kind of you're flinging your limbs around and hoping for a victory. There was some, once you got the hang of it, you could, strategize a little bit. I do like how the first guy you go against, that was taken from Jean-Claude Van Damme's Kickboxer, where there was Tong Po. I can't remember what the guy's name in Full Contact was, but it was obviously a ripoff from Jean-Claude Van Damme's Kickboxer. And I do believe the second guy, because I got the second guy, he was also from something, but can't remember. Wasn't really great. Kind of sucky. Body Blows, another fighter. That one was actually pretty mediocre. It was way better than Full Contact. I kind of enjoyed it. You had like 10 or 12 different characters you could pick from, and they had a lot of moves that were ripped off from Street Fighter, basically. So yeah, it was like a poor man's Street Fighter. I'll probably never play it again. I might give it a try with a friend when we're drunk if we ever get excited and want to play Evercade games. But yeah, apart from that, I'll probably never touch it again. Then ATR All-Terrain Racing, that one I actually kind of liked. I got my ass whooped. I picked easy computers as my enemies at times, and still, you gotta drive nearly perfectly to beat those, or I just really suck. Then again, I probably have to play a bit more so I can learn all the tracks. There seem to be surprisingly many different tracks. It's this top-down driving game, so you can't see past the screen, so everything kind of comes as a surprise at times. There was also like battle mode where you get missiles and mines, but you get like one missile if you get a pickup, and I never hit with that, so not exactly rock and roll racing, but yeah, still kind of enjoyable. I've always kind of liked those top-down micro machines type driving games and all that. Super off-road. What else was there? There was RC Pro-Am, which is for NES. This is 8-bit, but this was definitely a 16-bit style, so yeah, way more advanced than this. I dug it, didn't hate it, but it wasn't the best. Then we had Project X Special Edition, which was a shoot 'em up, where you have your little plane, starfighter, whatever, and you fly around from left to right. Picture keeps scrolling, and there's enemies, a shitload of enemies, and bullets, and all that kind of stuff flying at you, and I really enjoyed that. That was one of those old school shoot 'em ups, which I actually kind of prefer more than modern shoot 'em ups. Like old NES Gradius and what was it, Life Force Salamander? It was just Salamander at some places and Life Force at other places, and but that was basically a Gradius sequel, unofficial sequel or something, but both were still from Konami. But I do like those, and R-Type and old school style, where they're kind of bit more clunky. They're not as smooth, but I don't know, there's something that I really dig about that type of shoot 'em ups. So yeah, I was really enjoying that one. Then we have Alien Breed Special Edition, Alien Breed 2, The Horror Continues, and Alien Breed Tower Assault. And those were the kind of salt of the earth when it comes to these games in this package. Top-down shooters, you've probably seen those, there's some old classics in that genre, like, there's this Finnish game called Tapankaikki, which means I'll kill 'em all. Don't know if people outside of Finland know those games, but those were fucking fantastic. And also the PlayStation 1 had load and reload, or loaded, reloaded. I don't remember. I think those were kind of similar type 2, and but these are older than PlayStation 1, so they're bit more graphically challenged compared to those, but yeah, really just a shameless ripoff from Aliens, basically. Top down, and all the enemies look like aliens, so yeah, it's you go around corridors and you shoot stuff and you try to do whatever the mission is. I played the first one. You go around, I think it was like spaceship or something, and you had to move down levels. Yeah, like the first level you had to find a lift to get down, and the second level you had to destroy something, and after you got those things destroyed, some generators or something, and there was this counter, and you had to escape the place because there was self-destruct, and yeah, I really dug that. And also I gotta say, for such an old game and top down, it actually has pretty cool atmosphere. It's just really dark, almost like horror vibes. The game came out special edition, I believe 92, so you know, it looks like that. So in that sense, it's not the most horror-ish game, but yeah, I remember somewhat playing that back then, because I did play Alien Breed games growing up. Yeah, I did have those PC at some point, but they were old games back then when I got PC, so I didn't play those that much. I played those more at friend's place on his PC, and I think another friend's place on his Amiga, if I remember correctly. Somewhere I did play those, but yeah, I always enjoyed those, and back then, yeah, the atmosphere was more intense when you were a kid, and you know, especially if you just saw aliens and Alien. I think it nailed the atmosphere great for such an old game. Alien Breed 2, that one I didn't try. Alien Breed Tower Assault, that one I tried. I never played that growing up, so I really enjoyed that one too, but it was a bit more confusing because you started from one screen. I mean, it's a huge area the screen moves, but then you could go like up, left or right, and you know, you arrive into a new scene. Same thing, you know, there's like a lot of different places, so that one requires a bit more concentrating and dedication to, you know, just learn where things are and where to go. So yeah, when I tried, I still enjoyed that one too. I'm kind of having a tough time deciding which style I like more, you know. Is it more corridor, more even though the first one was corridor, you still, you know, you had always that map where you had to go every place. It was always that one map, and then you moved on to the next map. So it wasn't as much just roaming around endlessly like in Alien Breed Tower Assault. I think I like that style more. I need to play Alien Breed 2. Overall, I gotta say, I really dug it. I mean, $20. I really dug this collection. This was way better than anything on the last video. Then the other collection I got, Sunsoft Collection 1, this one has 6 Sunsoft classics. Mr. Gimmick, Blaster Master Boy, Journey to Silius, Blaster Master, Aero the Acrobat, and Arabian. Now Mr. Gimmick, that's kind of cool to get in this box, because I think they like remade or remastered Mr. Gimmick, the original, a couple of years ago for the modern consoles. Also, this year I do believe they've come out with Mr. Gimmick 2, or they're coming out. That one actually has a collector's edition, which I've been kind of eyeing. It's kind of there on the pain threshold when it comes to, you know, my budget, monetary wise. Do I really want to put my money into it? I'll have to ponder on that. But I actually never played Gimmick. I always kind of wanted it for NES, the original, because it cost over €1,000. I think nowadays it might be, you know, 1,500, maybe 2,000, you know, complete in a box. If you just get the cartridge, that one I believe you can get like 5, 6, 7, 800. I haven't followed the prices lately, so I don't really know, but it's expensive as shit. I kind of want it. There was a point where I was kind of saving up for it, but couldn't do it. But yeah, I never played Gimmick. Now I'm definitely gonna give it a try. I did play, I didn't play Blaster Master Boy. That one, if I understood correctly, that one's Game Boy's Blaster Master game, which I have never played. I love the original Blaster Master. That's one of my favorite NES games. Hell, it's probably one of my favorite games of all time. It's definitely my top 100, maybe even top 50, I don't know, but all-time games. It's just, man, that is a fantastic game. But Blaster Master Boy, yeah, I haven't given that one a try yet. I do believe it's a Game Boy game. I've seen some videos, and yeah, it looks like Blaster Master, but it's got those two colors, you know, green and black, because it's on Game Boy. So next up, Journey to Silius. That is underrated NES side-scrolling shooter game where you know, go from left to right and you shoot enemies, and there's boss fights at the end of the levels. I never beat that. I think I got like level 3 or something. I should really give it a better try. I did try it out from this cartridge because I really fantastic music and all that. You know, Sunsoft, they always made great music in their games. Some of the best games during the NES era. But yeah, Journey to Silius, I highly recommend if you're into NES side-scrolling 2D platformers / shooters. Sci-fi theme, they're really just great. And the music. Next up, the regular NES Blaster Master. I've talked about it on this channel plenty of times. Also, I just made my Nintendo Switch top 10 games list. And yeah, Master Blaster Zero, the remake. Might be there, might not be there. Might come as a surprise. But you gotta watch that video if you wanna know. Always been a huge fan of Master Blaster. Yesterday, I actually played first time Aero the Acrobat. Cause it's a bat who's in circus-themed platformer game. It was good. It was good. I did enjoy it. It wasn't like the best platformer ever. I believe those games came for Sega Mega Drive / Sega Genesis. I always did eye on those. There's 2 if I remember correctly. Aero the Acrobat 1 and 2. Always kind of wanted those. I don't think those are the most expensive games ever, so I still, you know, if I ever get into more buying retro again, I might actually get those. I liked it. It like I said, it wasn't the best, but it sure as hell wasn't the worst either. Like, there are better platformers on Sega Genesis / Mega Drive. Dynamite Heady I prefer more. Kid Chameleon, I still think I prefer that more. Sonics, obviously, those are S tier. So yeah, but I'd say Aero the Acrobat is kind of like a solid B tier. And lastly, Arabian, which I actually kind of dug. It's that one came out 85. It looks like one of those old school NES Donkey Kong, maybe. Kind of that style game, or maybe Popeye, from what I remember from Popeye. I always loved both those games, so Arabian was kind of in that same vein where you just kind of have really, well, the graphics are what they are. They're really simple, and well, you gotta, at least first 2 levels, you had to collect all these things that were there, and you know, watch out for enemies. You could actually kick the enemies, so you're not totally unarmed. I kind of like that. There are some games where you just have to run away from the enemies and watch out for those, and do not touch those under any circumstances. And yeah, that one just I mean, those are fun too, but I do prefer when I can at least do something, you know, like in Arabian, kick the enemies. Nothing mind-blowing, just really simple. Like I said, it reminded me of NES Donkey Kong and Popeye game a little bit. So, but yeah, those were the 6 games in this one, and 10 games in Team 17. I gotta say, these both cartridges way better than what I last got. Bitmap Brothers especially hurts. I still have no idea what happened with Chaos Engine 2. Why did they take that route with the sequel? It just... But yeah, these 2 cartridges, if I had to pick my favorite, well, I mean, this one has 10 games, so overall this has more like at least playable or great games. But this one, well, I haven't played Gimmick or Blaster Master Boy. Arabian, like I said, it was alright, but it was nothing mind-blowing. Aero the Acrobat was alright, but god damn it, Master Blaster and Journey to Silius, those are just so great. But then again, Alien Breed games are great too. Those are fucking fantastic also. But I think nostalgia is the driving force here, and I gotta lean a bit more towards the Sunsoft Collection. It's a tight battle between these, but man, these were great buys both. I do not regret. $20, $22, $23, I don't know. Nowadays they raised the prices, and Evercade, at least new Evercade games are $25. So not digging that, but you know, everything gets more expensive. We noticed, so we keep buying less. You gotta make sacrifices from somewhere. But for now, I'm still gonna keep on buying Evercade stuff. Every now and then, you know, 1 or 2 cartridges. I'm so lazy these days. I don't have the energy to hook up my old NES or Sega Mega Drive or Master System or all those, you know. I might at some point, but it's just so much easier if you have stuff on Evercade, just because I have that plugged in HDMI on my TV. Just plug this in and start playing. So yeah, I do dig Evercade. Anyway, that was my pile of games this time. A great pile of games. I do have to say, I don't think there's anything that I regret in this pile. This was a magnificent pile. Expedition 33, obviously that's the best one out of this pile, but the others don't have anything to share. Precinct, I hope that does well, because that's just like Expedition, Precinct, and I'd say Revenge of the Savage Planet. They're kind of taking their own routes, showing people that you can do shit with smaller groups. That's actually great. Or at least pretty damn good. But for now, you can fuck off, and I'll fuck off, and we'll meet back here when I upload more crap. I'll try to come up with new crap faster now, because I've had longer pauses here doing these videos, because like I said, I've been playing games, I've been drinking beer a bit too much again. I gotta tone that down, but now that my summer vacation's over, although there's still a couple months of possibly good summer, so I'm gonna drink once or twice at least, but other than that, I'll try to get more back into these videos. So I do have I have ideas, I have lists and all that kind of stuff on my phone. I just sometimes scribble those down. So yeah, there's ideas. Some of those, they need a little bit more research, and some of those just need me to get off my ass and actually make them. So, but I gotta find a way to keep it in bay. This one I had to rant because the expedition and the big corporations, but I gotta be quicker. I gotta be smoother also, so I don't have to do so many cuts. Some of these lines I might do 3 or 4 times, and then I have to pick from there, because sometimes I feel like, I don't know, maybe my mouth's full of spin or something, I'm just mumbling, or, someone once said in comment section that I sound like I got a mouth full of wasps. I hear that sometimes. It annoys me too. That guy was right. That was a good criticism. I see that too. It could be because I drink coffee when I do it. Anyway, I'm just gonna go. I'm rambling here. Just goodbye. Play small games. Goodbye.